Hey guys, it's Krishanti with Krishanti.com talking about psychic development and spiritual and personal growth. And I realize this top that I'm wearing might look a little dressy or fancy for just a regular old everyday video, but the color captured my imagination and captured my fancy, and it actually makes me feel really happy because it's like this bright, really happy pink and all of that. And I thought, why not? And today's video that I wanted to talk about is about what activates your intuition and how to get it up and running. And a lot of that is all about your imagination and doing the things you love and just following what makes your heart sing and what makes you happy. I thought about making an entire separate video just about this, but I'll just merge them into one. And that is that little kids are very, very aware and very naturally intuitive. And we were all little kids at one point or another. So we were all possessing that sort of connection. And we can all get back to it just by embracing that childlike side of ourselves and not making it like a test, but more of a game and something fun that you do every day if you can to really get in the zone. Now, I did want to talk a little bit more about the whole kids and intuition thing because it's so fascinating. Some friends of ours were talking about visiting a mission in Santa Barbara. And I too visited a mission up in Santa Ynez in California in January of this year. And I remember going into that mission and being kind of excited because I think the architecture is really beautiful and unique. But when I got in there, I was like, oh man, the spirit's not in here. I felt sad. I felt like the natives of the land were not down with these missionaries and what they were bringing in. And it was just that wasn't there. And I can feel things. And I was like, no, it's not there. And we were talking about it. And these parents were saying that their son, who was, I think he was like 3 or 4, they were in this other mission. And he was walking around and he said he heard, and there were what is it? Not graves, but anyway, the people were buried all around. And he said they had gone deep in, it's a labyrinthine sort of place. And they had gone deep in, and all of a sudden he's like, someone called my name. Oh my God. And he freaked, his little tiny thing, he freaked out and he ran and he found his way out and he got the heck out of there ASAP and would not go back in, was adamant he heard someone calling his name and he was creeped out. That's a classic example of kids sensing things. And as parents and adults, we're kind of usually in a hurry and we want to do what we need to do. I mean, I know I am. I try to be patient and understand, but sometimes when your little kids are having a fit or they're I'm laughing because they're always doing something that's not kind of going with our adult program. But notice if perhaps there's an energy that they're sensing. I went to this is so funny, classic. I went to a shop that sells witchy things in order to get some of this special powder called cascarilla that is protective. In fact, I should get some of that out because I forgot I had it. I haven't used it in a few years since I've been channeling the Ascended Masters and all that energy. I've been more in that realm and not so much the earthy realm with all those tools and fun, wonderful, witchy things. So it was a day I had my son Ivan with me. He was maybe 2.5 or 3. And we went into this very witchy place and they had good things and they had not so good things. And if you know what I mean, and we were leaving and he saw something and he did not like it. He had a reaction, and a good thing we were just on the way out. I'm like, okay, phew. Well, we never have to go back there again. And in fact, I've never gone back there again because I know he really didn't like whatever beastie or energy he sensed or saw. But listen to your kids because they are definitely onto something. Absolutely trust your kids when they they tell you what their vibe is on somebody. Absolutely trust that. If they really don't like somebody, which is it's awfully hard, and it's kind of that old wives' tale, or I don't know what it is. Like, nobody likes it when a kid cries when you pick them up, and I've had babies cry when I've picked them up, and I don't, and most kids like totally love me, but most, that's what everybody says too. They're like, oh, most kids love me. I don't know why this one doesn't. But I'm saying that more along the lines of even older kids, like when let's say you're single and you're dating somebody. I've heard this time and time again from clients who are like, I dated this guy and my kids just never did like him. And the kids were right. The kids were onto something. Children are wonderful barometers. But circling back to you and how you can activate that in your own life if you're not wanting to work on, or you don't have kids, or you're not working on keeping your kids' intuition strong. And let me take a step back. In order to help nourish and nurture your children's intuition, just ask them how they feel, ask them what they're sensing, ask them what they think about things. Just listen to them. Don't force them, but listen. We were going to Trader Joe's one day last week, and there's a guy I love who works there. His name is Akeem, and he reminds me of my brother. He's so cool. He's so cute and so sweet, this young kid. And I asked Ivan, it's like, oh, do you think Akeem will be there? I said, why don't you use your intuition? And he's like, whoa. He knew it was a different way of reasoning. And he said, my smartness tells me that Akeem isn't there a lot when we go. And so sure enough, when we went, he wasn't there. And then we saw him the other day, because we're always at the grocery store. We saw him the other day, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm only working 3 days a week, because he's doing other stuff. So that was interesting. But that kind of thing with your kids. Now, back to you, if you do not have kids and you want to activate your intuition with your imagination and that childlike sense of wonder, start to remember what you loved as a kid, or just tune in to the things that you love and try to be playful. And instead of thinking or reacting to life as this difficult thing to get through, or this very stressful thing, because stress is an epidemic right now. I certainly feel stress, even though I meditate every day. We all do. So try to tap into what you love. Try to do things you love, and then just ask your intuition to show you the way. And sometimes it's a matter of just letting your body guide you. Other times it's just checking in with how you feel when you're talking to somebody, checking in with how you feel before making a decision, and seeing and sensing. It's more about going with your senses. And you can even try to say do I have a good vibe or a bad vibe about this, or am I neutral? And play with little things like where to go out to eat for dinner, which is a constant question in our household, or whether this would be good for you, whether you should take this class, or whether this job is a good idea. All these little things. Try to do things that you can play with on a daily basis, but by doing things that you love all the time, and then kind of getting in the flow that way, and trying to look at life as something that you love, and experience as something that you love, bring more love into your life and more light, your intuition will start to heighten and activate, if that makes sense. A couple of other things people love with their intuition is the art of automatic writing and journaling. Write to yourself. Write as if you're imagining you're channeling your spirit guides. Write as if you're channeling your angels. You can also draw pictures. You can color in coloring books. You can make music. Just play. The more you play, the more you let your imagination flow. We tend to be trained in our Western society that we can't just fool around and be creative for the sake of being creative. A lot of my clients say that. They're like, well, I never thought about myself as creative. And I know they're thinking I don't make quilts, or I'm not a painter, I don't make paintings, I'm not a writer, I'm not a musician, I'm not an artist. It's not about that. It's doing stuff just for the sake of doing it. just being outside, or just doing things. You don't have to have a level of mastery. In fact, mastery might kind of put a cramp in it. You may not do things because you think you're not good enough, so why bother trying? So try to put all that aside and just be playful like a kid. Let yourself, for many of us, it may be the first time that we're allowed to actually do that. I know when I think back to my childhood, it wasn't the best one, and I wasn't allowed to play with other kids a lot outside of school, so I spent a lot of time just like brushing Barbie hair and dressing up my Barbies. But so now playing outside with Ivan, with my son, is fun and different, like playing tag and hide and seek, and then now learning with him like sport. I know it sounds like such a dork. I'm not all that sporty, so I'm like, he's trying to learn things, and I'm like, okay, let me see if I can hit the ball too. We can do this or that. It's quite fun and funny, so let it be fun. And yeah, if you want to chit chat about all this or get a conversation going, comments below. Hit the like if you like. Hit the like button if you like this video. I think this pink top is just making me feel a little bit silly. But for more info on all the stuff I do and teach, I have classes, meditations, workshops, all that you can download. I'm not doing any live things right now. That's all at krishanti.com. And thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.